Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new chapter of electrolysis. Electrolysis word is composed of two words, electro and lysis. Electro means from electricity and lysis from analysis. You all know that analysis word we use for the decomposition reactions means chemical decomposition. So those decomposition reactions which take place with the electricity we call that electrolysis, right? So electrolytic decomposition or the decomposition reactions which take place by the passage of electric current are termed as electrolysis reactions. Electrolysis is a wide and complicated topic. So many of the points are there which we have to do, some right now in this class and some afterwards. So if we think about the decomposition reactions, only compounds can decompose, elements cannot, because elements are simplest most form of the matter. So one point is clear that electrolysis may take place only of the compounds. Now as a result of this passage of current, these compounds should decompose. Now the question comes here that do all compounds undergo electrolysis process? No. Only those compounds may undergo to the electrolysis process which are having the tendency, or you can say capacity, to pass the electricity through them. All compounds cannot pass current through them. So when we pass current and if the compound passes the current through it and as a result it decomposes, we say that compound undergoes electrolysis process. Such compounds which are passing the current through them and as a result they are decomposing into new substances, we call them electrolytes. What we call them? Electrolytes. So electrolytes are the compounds which are, when allowed to pass the current, they take the current through them and as well as they are also resulting into their component elements. So by the electrolysis we decompose compounds into different of its component elements. You can say analysis is just opposite to synthesis. By the synthesis method we are combining elements to form a compound, and by the analysis we are decomposing these compounds into the component elements. Like suppose for example AB is a compound, and as a result if it decomposes into A and B, AB is a compound which is composed of two elements A and B. So as a result of analysis or decomposition it will break into A and B. Now if this decomposition takes place by the electric current, we use the word electrolysis. Such compounds which undergo electrolysis, we call them electrolytes. Now the reverse of that means many more compounds we are having which are not capable of passing the current through them, and that is why they are non-electrolytes, means the compounds which cannot allow the passage of current through them and they do not decompose as a result, they are known as non-electrolytes. So we are having two clear-cut ideas or concepts, that those compounds which pass the current and as a passage of current they decompose also, they are known as electrolytes. All those compounds which are not allowing the passage of current, which are not decomposing as a result, they are non-electrolytes. Now we are having some more substances around us. In those substances what is there? That they are allowing the passage of current. Like suppose for example iron, silver, copper, aluminium, they all allow the passage of current through them. But as a result they do not decompose, they do not undergo any chemical decomposition, and that is why they are not electrolytes. They are given a new term, and that we say conductors. What we say? Conductors. So we are having electrolytes, non-electrolytes and conductors, and those substances which are not the compounds but they are elements but not allowing the passage of current, they are non-conductors. So conductors and non-conductors, electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Right now we are going to discuss or elaborate the term electrolytes and their decomposition is the electrolysis. Now in this case, the electrolytes which we are having, some of the electrolytes conduct current in a good amount and decompose completely, and some of the electrolytes conduct current but not in a good amount and little amount, and they decompose feebly. Those which decompose completely, they are strong electrolytes. For example, hydrogen chloride, sodium chloride, sulfuric acid, so many are there which are decomposing completely and allowing the passage of current completely. At the same time, we are having some more compounds which are allowing the passage of current through them, decomposing also, but decomposing feebly. For example, acetic acid, citric acid, and some other organic compounds. So they are not decomposing completely, but decomposing. We call them weak electrolytes. And the other term which I said, non-electrolyte, those compounds which do not allow the passage of current at all, which do not allow the passage of current at all through them, and so they do not decompose also, they are known as non-electrolytes. For example, carbon tetrachloride, then sugar, then so many more organic compounds are there, acetone, alcohol, etc., etc. So these compounds are not allowing the passage of current, not decomposing as a result, and that is why they are non-electrolytes. So we are having two more words, weak and strong electrolytes. Now after this, if we conclude the definition of electrolytes, you can say electrolytes are the compounds which are allowing the passage of current through them, and as a result they are decomposing into their component elements. Now after that, certainly a point comes out that why this behavior is there. Some of the compounds are decomposing, some of the compounds are allowing the passage of current, and some of the compounds are not allowing the passage of current. Some of the substances are allowing the passage of current but not decomposing. So when we study their behavior, that why it is so, and their structure, we are having one conclusion or one point. We find out that those compounds which are allowing the passage of current through them, they are doing it in the molten state or in the solution form, aqueous solution form. Those compounds which are allowing the passage of current and decomposing means electrolytes, they are doing this phenomena only and only when they are in the molten state, or in many of the cases not in the molten state alone, but they are doing it in the aqueous solution form. So here therefore, when we see that by bringing them into the molten state or in aqueous solution form, what the special changes in them, we find out that these compounds dissociate, these compounds ionize or break into their, separate into their ions. By melting or by dissolving in water, these compounds break into their ions. As I wrote the example of AB, this is a compound, and this compound when is brought into the molten state or dissolved in water, we see that it breaks into or dissociates into ions, positive ions and negative ions. Since in this molten state or in the aqueous solution form, the positive and negative ions are present, so therefore when we pass the current through this, these positive and negative ions work as positive and negative terminals, and that is why electricity can pass through. And after that, the next step what they are doing, we will discuss under the heading mechanism after this. So because of these positive and negative ions which are working as positive and negative terminals, electricity passes through easily. And those compounds which do not have this tendency of decomposing into the positive and negative ions, they cannot pass the current. Means the non-electrolytes, they are not having any ions, means no ions are present. They are formed without any ions, or as a result of melting or as a result of dissolving in aqueous solution, no any ions are formed. Now here I specify. You have learned in the previous chapter that organic compounds do not dissolve in water, and since they do not dissolve in water, they don't have any ions. Whereas other compounds which you say inorganic compounds, where we are having two type of compounds, the covalent compounds and the ionic compounds. Covalent compounds are not formed by the ions. No ions are present there. So those covalent compounds are, if brought into the molten state, they will not change into the ions. They will not show any ions. Whereas, like suppose for example, if you take a covalent compound which is brought into the molten state, and it is not breaking into the ions, of course it will not be able to pass the current, means it is a non-electrolyte. Whereas ionic compounds, you have learned, they are formed by the exchange of electrons, like sodium chloride. Sodium is giving its one electron to the chlorine, and so sodium ions are formed and chloride ions are formed. So in the sodium chloride, ions are present, and many more you have studied, like calcium oxide you have done magnesium chloride, and you have done about the MgCl2, you have done for the calcium chloride, and so many more. So here what is there, that these compounds which are done as example, and many more wide range is there. So these are ionic compounds, and they are composed of ions. These ions are held up with a strong force of attraction. We have learned this is known as electrostatic force of attraction. When these compounds are heated, they have very high melting point, but because of the heating, this force of attraction breaks and the ions separate. Suppose this is negative ion and this is positive ion, and together they are forming a ionic compound. So when we do the heating, this force of attraction breaks and gradually the bonds break and it becomes separate. Now negative ions and positive ions. So in a container of sodium chloride, we have sodium ion and chloride ion when we brought it into the molten state. And now when you pass the current will pass. This is strengthened, this concept is strengthened, that when we pass the current through solid sodium chloride or solid ionic compound, current does not pass. And the reason is that this time ions are not separate. When these compounds are brought into the molten state, then that time the ions are separated, and so the current passes through and the substance is separating into ions. These compounds also have a tendency of dissolving in water. Here we studied that ionic compounds are soluble in water, and water plays a role of just separating these compounds into their ions, meaning that water is dissolving this force of attraction, and because of that it just breaks these compounds into their ions. So because that, again in the solution form, negative and positive ions are present, and again in the solution the compound will conduct the current, means pass the current through it. It means electrolytes will undergo electrolysis only when they are in the molten form. And or aqueous solution. Means in the solid form no current passes through, and this is a major difference also. Conductors will conduct current in the solid state itself, whereas electrolytes will conduct current only in the molten state or in the aqueous solution form. Now if we go to the organic compounds, or if I say more broader, covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are having no ions. The formation of the bond is by the sharing of the electrons, and that is why no ions are present. But some of these covalent compounds are having polarity. We have discussed that when the covalent compound is formed by two elements, where one is having higher electronegativity and the other one is having less electronegativity. We took the example of hydrogen chloride, formation of HCl. Hydrogen is having less electronegativity, whereas chlorine is having very high electronegativity. So the electron pair is shifted near to the chlorine and far from the hydrogen, and that is why hydrogen chloride is having a slight polar effect, means hydrogen is having slight positive charge and chlorine is having slight negative charge. And because of that, this polarity is present in this type of covalent compounds, which you have named as polar covalent compounds. So when these compounds are brought into the aqueous solution form, water plays a great role. It causes ionization. Ionization means the formation of ion. So ionization term is used only for those covalent compounds which are undergoing ionization or changing into their ions or forming ions when they are dissolved in aqueous solution form. So covalent compounds, those which are polar covalent compounds, may ionize, may form ions, and as a result in the aqueous solution form they may conduct current, but they will not conduct current in the molten state. So here we are having the few terms which we have discussed, that electrolytes are those compounds which are passing current through them, and as a result they decompose into their component elements in their molten or aqueous solution form. Non-electrolytes are those which do not pass, those compounds which do not pass the current, and so they do not decompose. Then conductors are those substances which are allowing the passage of current, but they are not decomposing chemically. Non-electrolytes are those which do not pass the current, and non-conductors are those which do not pass the current. But non-electrolytes are compounds and conductors are not the compound. They may be elements also, metals mostly, but non-metals, some exceptional cases like we have gas, carbon, graphite, they are non-metals but they are conductors. Now after this, the another point which is here, which we were discussing, कि electrolytes are doing this through the ions, means ions are present, then conduction of the current takes place, decomposition takes place, and therefore the electrolytes conduct current through free ions. It is necessary that they are converted into free ions. So either it is polar covalent compound or ionic compound, ions should be present for the passage of current. So electrolytes conduct current by the free electrons. Now in case of conductors, if we go, how conductors are conducting the current? One thing we found that conductors may conduct current even in the solid state, also in the molten state. But how the conduction takes place? They don't have any ions. Like if I take for the example of iron rods, if you put in the socket, it conducts the current, but there is no change in the iron. Iron may change, physical changes may be visible. It is glowing red hot, it is just changing the shape or turning into molten state. This thing's possible by passing the current, but no decomposition. When we withdraw the passage of current, iron comes in the original form of iron. It will not convert into gold or silver, right? So therefore iron is not undergoing any electrolysis. Now it is conducting the current. Iron is an element, so there is no chance of any positive and negative ions. It cannot have any negative ion in it. Only one type of ions are present in the iron, only one type of atoms are present in the iron. And like that silver, like that aluminium, like that copper. Do you know which is the best conductor? No, best conductor is silver, not the gold. So silver is the best conductor. So like that the current passes through, but not resulting into the decomposition. Beside that, conductors may pass the current in the solid state, whereas electrolytes will pass the current only and only in the molten state, or if you prepare their aqueous solution. Aqueous solution word we use especially for the covalent compounds. Those covalent compounds, if we see basically our main division, covalent compounds do not conduct current. We have studied that. They do not undergo electrolysis, but some of the covalent compounds do so. These covalent compounds are polar covalent compounds. They are having a tendency to break into the to form the ions, and this ion formation is only and only possible in the water. This formation is not possible in any other solvent. What is the meaning of that? We have studied that covalent compounds are soluble in the organic solvent. I take the one example which I had taken earlier, hydrogen chloride. HCl is a covalent compound soluble in an organic solvent toluene. But this solution of HCl in toluene has no ions because formation of ions take place only in water. So hydrogen chloride is, if dissolved in water, being polar covalent compound, it quickly dissolves in water. And this solution in water is having free ions, hydrogen ions and chloride ions. So that is working at as positive and negative terminals, and so hydrogen chloride's aqueous solution conducts current, undergoes electrolysis. Whereas at the same time, hydrogen chloride, being a covalent compound, dissolves in an organic solvent, say as toluene, and when we dissolve there, this is forming, this does not form any ions, only it dissolves. So because of the absence of ions, electrolysis does not take place, current does not pass through, and therefore we can say the electrolysis takes place only and only through the free ions, and conduction takes place through free electrons. That is why metals are conductors and non-metals and the covalent compounds are non-conductors, because no ions are present there. Now the next topic which we will do is the mechanism of electrolysis, that we will be doing in the next class.